Okay, so the year of 2023 is shaping up to be pretty awesome for Square Enix. We've got Final Fantasy 16 coming out in June. We're probably going to get some pretty big info dumps this year as well in regards to Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, and cross your fingers that we get an actual firm release date for the game sometime this year as well, and not just a seasonal window of when we could expect the game. And then of course the other day Yoshinori Kitase teased that there would be a huge announcement this year. I speculated that maybe it could be Final Fantasy 9 related, maybe that Final Fantasy 10-3 could come true. It is possible that it is an original thing as well. Maybe they're trying to get an original IP off the ground. Nobody really knows for sure. Everything was shaping up to be pretty nice until the fun police, in the form of Yosuke Matsuda, the president of Square Enix, decided to leave his own New Year's newsletter as well. So without getting too far into the details of his letter, he basically doubles down again. So at this point, it's basically tripling down or quadrupling down or hexagonaling down. I actually don't know what goes further than quadruple. He decided to talk more about NFTs and blockchain, and it's kind of funny because months ago when the NFT market completely crashed, and if I'm not mistaken, it still has not recovered, he had talked about maybe stepping away from NFTs and this whole blockchain thing, and putting that money towards developing their original IPs and even their existing IPs, which sounded great. Yosuke, you were on the right path, you were doing something really good. But with this New Year's Eve newsletter, he basically says, hey, I ain't done with NFTs and blockchain. Yosuke was basically like, new year, new me, psych. Picture Yosuke saying that, but when he says it, I want you to picture that moment in WCW when Sting has the fake Sting mask on and he rips it off to reveal just the same Sting mask underneath. That's essentially Yosuke Matsuda when it comes to NFTs and blockchain technology. Now look, I can understand being a little bit excited and wanting to experiment with new tech and whatnot, but this is something that's proven to be a failure already. Like I mentioned previously, the NFT market blew up and it has not recovered, and it's not going to recover. It's basically as dead as a doornail. And this is something that you have to move on from. Taking this technology and trying to fit it into your company, you're just gonna run things into the ground. And it's really frustrating because Square Enix has so many talented developers at their company. There's the different creative business units that are working on the Final Fantasy franchises, from 16 to the 7 remake trilogy to things like Kingdom Hearts and Final Fantasy 14 and Dragon Quest. So to have such talented people working at your company underneath a guy who clearly doesn't know what he's doing and running the company into the ground is really frustrating, because you really gotta look at all the failures that Yosuke has under his belt. It's not just this weird obsession with NFTs and blockchain, it's the Babylon's Fall game completely falling on its face. There's Final Fantasy 7, the First Soldier, which is gonna be canceled, if I'm not mistaken, sometime this next week or so. The number of failures under his belt is astounding, and this guy just continues to run the company into the ground. It's really frustrating being a Square Enix fan. It's a pretty huge bummer, and it's not just Square Enix that are dabbling with NFTs and blockchain. Other companies like Konami, Sega, and even Bandai Namco have recently all dipped their toe into the cold, dead water that is NFTs. So as big as a bummer this news may be, we still have other things to look forward to. Obviously, there is Final Fantasy 16 coming in June. There's the 7 Rebirth news that we'll most likely get this year. And of course, there's whatever Kitase is now teasing, which I failed to mention in the previous video. Kitase is technically a brand manager of everything Final Fantasy. So even though he didn't have a hand in something like Final Fantasy Tactics or Final Fantasy 9, that doesn't mean that this big announcement this year isn't related to those games. But of course, it could always be an original IP, which hopefully they're able to keep that IP, whatever it is, away from the NFT blockchain craze. I am Curious Corduroy. Please leave any of your thoughts in the comments down below. What do you guys think of what's going on over at Square Enix? Everything with this NFT blockchain stuff. Are you worried for the company's future? And do you hope maybe Yosuke comes to his senses? Spoiler alert, that's not gonna happen. But leave your thoughts in the comments down below. I will see you guys in the next video. Please remember to always be excellent to one another.